Various rules are notified by the Government of India, Ministry of Forest, which includes hazard waste management and land rules in the year 1989, and these rules were replaced with the hazard waste and other waste management and transboundary rules 2016. The chemical accidents rules are there since 1996. Biomedical waste management and handling rules are there since 1998, and these rules are replaced with the biomedical waste management rules 2016. And we have got other rules are there related to waste management, like recycled plastic manufacture rules since 1999, and these are replaced with the plastic waste management rules 2016. Municipal solid waste management rules are there since 2000, and these rules are replaced with the latest rules called solid waste management rules 2016. And amendments are still going to come in all the respects of waste management rules also. You got batteries management rules, construction demolition waste management rules, and e-waste management rules are there. Apart from this, there is a EA notification. Any activity before start of any activity, they have to obtain environmental clearance depending upon the type of category. A category of the activities requires the environmental clearance from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, whereas B category of the activities requires the environmental clearance from the State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority under the A notification 1994, and subsequent the amendments came in the year 2016 onwards, 2006 onwards. These are about regulations. Since 1974 onwards, the regulations are the place depending upon the lacunas observed and all amendments are going on, and we are day by day the rules are going to be effective in the case of India. And these rules are there. I also talked already about this at length 2 or 3 times. Biomedical rules, but I don't want to discuss once again all these biomedical rules is concerned, but whatever I not discussed in my earlier class, I will try to discuss. These rules came, the biomedical rules were there since 1998, and these 1998 rules were replaced with the biomedical rules 2016, which came into force from 28th March 2016 onwards, and it contains 18 the provisions and the 4 schedules, which talks about the various categories of biomedical waste, segregation, collection, treatment, process to be adopted for disposal options, what are the standards to be adopted for treatment disposal of biomedical waste, and what type of who are the authorities responsible for enforcement of the rules. And Schedule 4 talks about what type of label you have to put for biomedical waste, segregation, containers and bags, and what type of label you have to put for transport of biomedical waste. Apart from this, we also have seen there are 5 forms. One is Form 1 talks about the accident reporting, Form 2 for submitting your application for obtaining authorization, Form 3, the state boards will issue permission to the healthcare festive or com festive or for generation of waste or handling of biomedical waste in any form. And Form 4 is the annual report to be submitted by every state, the healthcare festive or com festive to the respective SPCB or to the respective SPCB in the states or the pollution control committee in the union territories by 30th of June every year. And Form 5 is the application in case if you are not happy with any direction passed by the state pollution board in the state or pollution control committee in the union territories, then you can go for appealing in Form 5, and that you have submit within 30 days to the Secretary Environment of the government of the respective state. Then that application, the appeal will be disposed of within 90 days from the date of receipt of the application or the appeal. Now we have got various ministries responsible for regulatory authorities: the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Animal Husbandry and Veterinary, Director General Armed Forces Medical Service in case of Army hospitals. CPCB at central level is the enforcement authority, where at the state level we got state government or UT administration, and the board regulatory authority in state is state pollution control board, whereas in case of the UT, the pollution control committee is the regulatory authority. Apart from that, the state health departments, state animal husbandry and veterinary department, local urban departments are the state level authorities responsible for enforcement of the rules. Therefore, we have got both central ministries as the regulatory authority at central level, that is the CPCB, and there is a state level authorities which include state government, UT administration, SPCB in states, and political committee in the union territory administration, state health department, other departments like state animal husbandry and veterinary, local and urban bodies. They are responsible for the state level enforcement of the rules. Now, apart from this, I told you what is the role of Ministry of Forest. They making Main role of the Ministry of Forest, Government of India is for making policies and to provide financials for training and awareness programs on biometric waste management to the state permit boards, facilities financial assistance for setting up or upgradation of common facilities, undertake or support operational research and assessment with respect to the risk to the environment and health due to biometric waste, and constitutes of monitoring committee for review and implementation of the rules in the country, hearing appeals and gives decision made in Form 5 against order passed by the prescribed authority in case of the Director General Armed Forces Medical Services only, not for all. It is only for army hospitals only. They can make appeal to the Secretary Environment and develop standard manuals for training the trainers and training, notify standards or operating parameters for new technologies for treatment of biometric. These are the responsibilities of the Ministry of Forest in the Government of India in the country, and these are the state, the central or state Ministry of Health and Family Affairs responsibilities. Grant of license to healthcare facilities, that the responsibility, and nursing homes, there are veterinary establishments with the condition that they had to obtain authorization from the Prescribed Authority for Biometric Waste Management. Wanting refusal or cancellation of license for healthcare facilities or nursing homes or veterinary establishments by the state health department or central health departments. Publication of list of registered healthcare facilities with regard to biometric waste generation, treatment and disposal. Undertake or support operation research and assessment, and coordinate with the state monitoring boards for organizing training programs, and the constitution of expert committees at national or state level for overall review and promotion of clean or new technologies, and organizing or sponsoring trainings for the regulatory authorities and healthcare facilities on biometric waste management, related activities, sponsoring of mass awareness campaigns in electronic media and print media is the responsibility of the central and state health departments. Similarly, we have CPCB. CPC has to prepare guidelines, coordinate with the state monitoring boards in the states and political communities in union territories on biometric waste, conduct training programs for authorities. Therefore, we will be organizing the training programs on frequently, lay down standards for new technologies for treatment of biometric waste, and prescribe specification for treatment of biometric waste, lay down criteria for establishing conflicts in the country, random inspection or monitoring of healthcare facilities and conflicts, which includes army hospitals, review and analysis of data submitted to the state political boards, and submitting the report to the ministry on the biometric waste management based on the annual report submitted by the states, inspection monitoring of army on the armed forces healthcare establishments, and also undertake or support research or operation research regarding biometric waste. These are the activities and regularity of the responsibilities given under rules biometric waste rules 2016 to CPCB. While the role of Ministry of Defence that issue renewal of authorization to the army armed forces healthcare establishments, and conduct training courses for authorities dealing with the management of biometric waste in the army for the armed forces healthcare establishments, publication of inventory of occupiers regarding the biometric waste generation from army hospitals, constitution of advisory committee for implementing the rules, review of management of biometric waste generation in the armed forces medical healthcare establishments, submission of annual report to CPCB within the stipulated time period means by 30th of June every year in Form 4, and inspection monitoring of medical inspection rooms, take base, onboard ships, etc. by the armed forces, the DGFMS or Ministry of Defence. And these are the state political boards, the state government responsibilities. Similarly, can I have a look at this? The Schedule 6 will have a look at this sort of responsibilities. When it comes to the state boards, inventory of occupiers, they have to publish the data on biometric generation, treatment, and disposal, compilation of data related to biometric generation, and submission of an annual report to CPCB by 30th of June every year. Grant and renewal, suspension or refuse, cancellation or authorization under rules 7, 8, and 10. Monitoring of complaints of various provisions and conditions of authorization. It is the responsibility of the state government, state political board. Action against healthcare facilities in case of violations or in case of conflicts in case of violations. Organize training programs with the responsibility of the state political board, and also undertake or support research activities related to biometric waste management. Any other functions stipulated under the rules has to be performed by state political boards or else as and when assigned by the Ministry of Forest or CPCB. And role of municipalities that allocate suitable site for development of common facilities in the respective jurisdiction in future, and collect other solid waste from the healthcare facilities as per the municipal solid waste or amendment made from time to time, and any other functions stipulated in the rules. Therefore, they have to collect even the biometric waste from the healthcare, the household biometric waste from households also. The responsibility of the municipalities, then they have to dispose of in accordance with the law. And monitoring mechanism in India is at the central level, Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and the Central Political Board, the monitoring authorities, monitoring mechanism at the central level, At the state level, we have got State Department of Health and Family Welfare, State Control Board in states, Pollution Control Committee in union territories, advisory committees of the state government or unit administration. The monitoring mechanism is available as on date in the country. Apart from the advisory committee at the state level, even the state government has to constitute district level monitoring committees of the state government or unit administration they have to constitute, and they all will be taking care of the enforcement of the taking care of the monitoring aspects and ensuring the environmental controls are implemented effectively by the central level the central level agencies as well the state level agencies and the district level agencies. As far as this is the apart from this central level state level committee, the state level committees, monitoring committees and district level monitoring committees, state government has to constitute the advisory committee at the state level. That will be the chairman under the chairmanship of the Secretary Health Department. The other members also will be there from Department of Health, Environment, Urban Development, Animal Husbandry, Veterinary Sciences, urban local bodies, and one representative from IMA, one COM-visiting member, and also one NGO. They will be the member of the state level advisory committee. They will review the waste management in the state, in each of the state, constituted with the state governments, and they will try to suggest the various measures to the state governments to be adopted so that the environmental generator is managed in environmental sound manner in accordance with the law. And this advisory committee at the state level advisory committee has to the constituted shall meet at least once in 6 months, and they have to review all matters related to implementation of the rules. And report has to be submitted by to the state government. And similarly, I told you these are the monitoring mechanisms at the state level, at the central level, at the state level, and the district level is also there. At the in case of the in India, and district level monitoring committee also has to meet once in 6 months, and they have to submit the report to the state advisory committee so that they will have a look at it. What is happening at the district level, and a copy also they have to for district level monitoring committee has to forward to the state control board. District level monitoring committee shall comprise of district magistrate as the district medical officer as a member secretary, representative from SPCB or PCC, public health injury department, local bodies, IMA representative, conference representative, or registered NOGs work in the field of environmental waste management. Committee may opt other members. Of course, the chairman of this district level monitoring committee will be district magistrate or district commissioner. Therefore, district collector will be the chairman of the district level monitoring committee, and report will be submitted by them once in 6 months to the state level advisory committee on the management of waste that is followed in the respective state. What are the various challenges in the monitoring and implementation of the rules is I already told you in my first day. And as for the that is about the various provisions in case of rules. 1 minute, please. Hello. చెప్పండి. బాగున్నా. Excuse me, there is the small disturbance. I was having one call. I had to attend to that call definitely. Now that is about the waste management rules followed in the country. And I am telling you, India is the only country in Southeast Asian regions where we got various regulations for all type of waste management effectively. But when compared with other Southeast Asian region countries, there are no any regulations. Simply some relevant rules are there, but specifically for each and every type of waste categories, India is the only country where we have got the various rules, and these rules are at par with the developed countries. And there is a system is there in place for ensuring proper waste management, including the biometric waste in India. Whereas in other countries, Southeast Asian region countries, there is no such effective system. Now coming to the Bangladesh is concerned, the biometric waste management and the procedure, the processing rules 2008 are there. They are almost all copied our 1998 rules, and they have published in the and their own way they have modified. And if you see, look at that rules, more or less they are at par with the 1998 rules notified by the Government of India only. And the medical waste management and processing rules 2008 mandates segregation of biometric waste or hospital waste at source as per 6 color coded bins. In our case, it is a 4 color. Earlier, it was 8 categories of biometric waste. In case of India, now it is only 4 category color coded container. But in case of Bangladesh, there are 6 color coded bins. Specifically for containers labeled to use, and a provision of temporary storage has been provided by the rules. And the standard for operation of treatment equipment for treatment of infected waste before disposal has been suggested. Separate collection, transportation to final treatment and disposal by city corporations have been suggested. There are some national guidelines for medical waste management revised in 2016. If you want to refer to this guide, the rules, you may kindly have a look at this website. And just now today, I have been able to have a look at this rules also. As I told, waste generation from points is properly segregated and into 4 categories like general waste, liquid waste, that is blue color, industrial waste, yellow, plastic waste in green bin, sharp waste in red bin, and all general waste will go to roadside DCC bins, and it will go for the final disposal. Whereas the liquid waste is discharged into a drain and managed by generating the generating authority means biological system itself. Whereas the waste like industrial waste, plastic waste, and sharp waste are collected by the PRISM Bangladesh, which is a particular organization responsible for collection of the waste, and separate color coded bins, 3 color coded bins. That is red, green, and yellow color coded bins. They collect the waste and they will dispose of this liquid waste and the waste for final management. Sharp waste will go for autoclaving or reburial, whereas plastic waste will go for the chemical infection and shedding, and whereas the infectious waste is treated by autoclaving and disposal by deburial. These are the methods followed in the Bangladesh. I think they have copied our rules only, more or less, of 1980 rules. And in contrary to the medical waste management processing rules only, the government of Bangladesh has identified a prescribed authority for granting authorization for implementing the rules. The prescribed authority shall function under the supervision and control of the Department of Environment, Ministry of Environment Forests, of the government of Bangladesh. The prescribed authority or committee may comprise separately from Department of Environment. The Paura Sevas, means municipal corporation, they call it as Paura Sevas. And the development authorities, Directorate General of Health Services, Bangladesh Medical Association, and NGOs will be the authority present for for issuing the consents or authorization. And coming to the Bhutan is concerned, in Bhutan there are no any separate regulations for biometric waste management exist, but the waste is covered under Waste Prevention and Management Act 2009, also Waste Prevention and Management Regulation 2012. The first edition of Inspection Control Healthcare Waste Management Guidelines were developed in 1984 and revised in the year 2014. Therefore, these guidelines will take care of the healthcare infection control waste management generated from the healthcare waste facilities. Medical waste is categorized into 8 categories in Bhutan. That has 8 categories has infectious, hazardous, shops, pharmaceutical, chemical, pathological, heavy metals, and general waste. Like in case of WHO categorization, okay. In the case of the WHO also, they categorize the waste into 8 categories. Similarly, they have categorized medical waste into 8 categories. The waste are segregated using color-coded bins and transported to the treatment site in the designated trolleys. Main treatment option followed are autoclaving and chemical infection only. they are not going to do any other the technologies like burn technology like incineration, plasma pyrolysis, or non-burn technology like the autoclave, microwave, chemical infection, or combination of both autoclave and shredding, and other technologies for disposal of waste is like encapsulation, secure landfill, or use of utilization of any waste for waste energy plants, or for road making or recovery of fuel or so. That way, it has been suggested in the rules of in India, whereas in Bhutan, the main treatment options available is only autoclave and chemical infection only. There are no other technologies set in the rules. Therefore, these are the only technologies. And the relative mechanism bottom is the Waste Prevention Management Regulation 2012 is adopted under Section 20 of the Waste Management and Act 2009, and this came into force from 1812, the 18 April 2022 onwards. The National Environment Commission is designated as the apex body present for coordinating or course in the implementation of the Act. Under the regulation, the NEC is responsible for National Environment Commission, responsible for monitoring the compliance performance of the implementing agencies. And the regulations require that implementing agencies shall be the health clinics, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture and Forest, that is what you call it as BHUS, hospitals, Department of Livestock, Bhutan Narcotic Control Agency, and the Drug Regulatory Authority are responsible for enforcement of the waste in the country of Bhutan. Therefore, new developments is that the Medicines Act of the Kingdom of Bhutan 2003 and the Bhutan Medicines Rules and Regulations 2019 mandates expired, defective, recalled, and deregistered medicines be treated as pharmaceutical waste, which should be segregated and stored separately and transported safely to the disposal sites. This is some of the developments I want to show. Therefore, I've shown it as a development only. When it comes to the Indonesia, Health Minister Decree number 1204/2004 on hospital healthcare waste is the requisite rules for waste management generated from the healthcare facilities. Ministry of Environment and Forestry Regulation number P65 year 2005 on technical guidelines and requirement of hazardous healthcare waste management is applicable for healthcare waste management. Government Regulation number 6 issued in 2013 requires all hospitals to be assessed with a rating system ranging from black, red, blue, green, and gold. Now, blue meant for implementation of environmental management efforts or in accordance with the law, and a black rating is given where no efforts taken to manage healthcare waste, and red label is given to the hospitals where environmental management efforts are not implemented in accordance with the law, whereas green and gold rating is given to hospitals where beyond the criteria or compliance is more than what is required. Therefore, they are going to give the ratings for the hospitals who are complying with the requirements required under the different laws of Indonesia. They give 4 categories of 4. The rankings will be given. Black is where they are not at all implementing. The blue is they are not at all following. And red is environmental management efforts are not at all implemented. Green and gold is where they are complying to the requirement. Therefore, ratings are given for healthcare facilities for compliant with requirements. Penalties for non-conformity is there. They are heavy penalty. And however, if the damage leads to death and the maximum sentence is they put in jail. Like in the Environment Protection Act, we take action under Section 15 through court of law. We may imprison for at least for a year or levy penalty on violators as per the Government of India regulations under Section 15 of the EP Act. Whereas here, if anybody violate the rules, they may receive a maximum sentence of 10 years in jail and maximum fine of US about 60,240. Whereas in case of Indonesian rupiah, it comes to rupiah 500 million in the local currency of the Indonesia. Whereas they may also put if the damage leads to death and the maximum sentence is for 15 years in jail and they enhance the fine also. Regulatory mechanism in Indonesia is agency responsible for dealing with the hazardous and biomass waste management in Indonesia are Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, and local authorities are responsible for the management of the healthcare waste management in Indonesia. Coming to the Nepal, there are no any rules, separate rules are there for healthcare waste management, and only one rule is there called as the Solid Waste Management Act 2011 and the Solid Waste Management and Resource Mobilization Act, Labor Act, Environment Act. They will take care of the waste management related aspects in the country of Nepal. There are no any, only the guidelines are there, like Healthcare Waste Management Guidelines 2014. They provides maximum standards for healthcare facilities. It focuses on safe and proper techniques for the segregation, collection, transportation, storage, treatment, and final disposal of healthcare waste, and supports for non-burned and green technology. These are the guidelines as per WHO only. They have just copied WHO guidelines and they are published as their guidelines. And National Information Immunization injection safety policies mandates the use of auto-disposable syringes in immunization program. That is related to the legislation in Nepal, and the various acts the framed for implementing through following institutions like Ministry of Health, Ministry of Population and Environment, Ministry of Local Development, then Municipality of Kathmandu, Nepal National Health Research Council, Royal National Academy of Science and Technology, and non-government organizations are responsible for enforcement of the rules in the Nepal. Whereas Department of Health Services, Regional Health Directorate, and district level public health offices monitor health activities, including healthcare waste management in Nepal. And similarly, coming to the other country, like if you see in Sri Lanka, even they don't have any separate regulations, but biomedical waste is managed. As per the biomedical waste is a legal requirement under the legislation of Central Environmental Authority, EPL, Central Environment Authority. The legislations is the applicable, which came into effective from 1st June, 1st February 2008. There is a policy on healthcare waste management, provides guidance on color coding system for segregation, waste transportation, treatment, disposal of waste from healthcare facilities, wastewater treatment and occupational safety of various health. These are all the guidelines. They just copied from the WHO guidelines only. Coming to the Sri Lanka, according to National Environment Act of 1980, the regulatory mechanism is all facilities should receive a license from the Central Environmental Authority, and the license has the obligation to clearly identify the waste stream, maintain records, train and protect the staff involved in the waste management, and have regularly updated agency action plans in case of spillage or accidents. List of activities for which environment protection is required is also provided. And the latest development is that they have come out with a national policy. This is not in your the syllabus, but I just want to update you that when I was going through the literature today, I could able to come across this national policy on waste management 2003 has been issued by the Ministry of Environment, the government of the Sri Lanka. Therefore, this will take care of the waste management, other waste management also. Coming to the Thailand, in Thailand, waste generated during medical diagnosis or disease, immunization or experiments, autopsy or examination of animal carcasses, including research, or deemed infectious waste, and the waste management system is similar to other countries, where waste is segregated at source, as well in color-coded bins, then transported in separate trolleys to dedicated waste storage rooms, and then sent for various offsite treatment facilities. I told you, offsite means away from the hospitals, not as a part of hospitals, but away from the hospitals, waste is treated and disposed of. So for the central government level, where is the agency responsible for enforcement of the rules, waste management in the Thailand, or the Department of Environment Quality Promotion, the Pollution Control Department prescribes guidelines, the Department of Health, Department of Public Health, the local administrative authorities are responsible for waste management in the country of Thailand. Coming to the Maldives, there also there are no any specific regulations, but there is a national healthcare waste management policy there in line with the WHO. In 2015, they have evolved and the policy endorsed in 2016 by the government of Maldives. And this is nothing but simply waste segregation and proper the disposal, but not as per as stipulated by the government of India. Myanmar, no separate regulations are there for waste collection, the healthcare waste management. Some options identified are on-site systems, autoclaving, off-site wet thermal treatment facility, mobile wet thermal treatment unit, and then sanitary landfill as disposal sites are adopted in Myanmar. The Ministry of Health Sciences is responsible for framing the guidelines and enforcement of these guidelines by for healthcare waste management. The one more country, this is Timor-Leste. The health sector national strategy plan has been the indicator, the exclusive indicator on healthcare waste management. The environmental health strategy has 8 components, and one of them is the healthcare waste management, focusing on minimizing impact of medical waste to the environment and health of people. Environment Health Department and the National Directorate of Public Health, Ministry of Health, is responsible for healthcare waste management in the Timor-Leste. There are no healthcare waste management guidelines or policy in the country. National guidelines on healthcare waste management followed. Therefore, these are the national waste management authorities, or at the national level, especially in country, the National Waste Management Authority, they have to frame relevant rules by issuing of gazettes, rules, or documentations. This is what should be there in all the countries also. That is lacking in other countries other than Bangladesh and India. Other countries also have to have National Waste Management Authority, and they have to frame relevant rules and to develop and maintain awareness programs, and also they have to oversee and monitor periodically the implementation of the laid down policies and rules, and also to have powers for issuing instructions or initiating actions against the defaulters. And also this authority, nation-based management authority, can take care of separate budget allocation should be there so that they can take care of this, they perform their responsibility to have a separate research and development wing for developing innovative approaches, ideas, etc. Therefore, this is we're coming to the legislation in SEAR countries, the summary where the environmental waste rules are there in the country in India, whereas responsibilities have been fixed. Whereas in case of the SEAR countries, there are no regulations except in Bangladesh. In all other countries like Bhutan, Indonesia, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Timor-Leste, they don't have any special regulations for healthcare waste management, but they got some sort of guidelines or policies are there. Based on that, they're taking the waste management activities in their respective the country. The existing regulatory mechanisms in SEAR countries, which includes regulatory authorities in India or Ministry of Renewable Forest, and these are the authorities in India: Ministry of Renewable Forest, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. At central level, the Director General Armed Forces in case of army hospitals. At the state level, we got state government is responsible authorities, and at the central level, CPCB, we are also will be enforcement of the rules. And at the state level, state board is there. At UT level, we have pollution control committee. Whereas the any case of violation there at the state level, authorities will take actions. Whereas in case of regulatory authorities in SEAR countries, in case of Bangladesh, the Prescribe authority will have representative Department of Environment, the Paurasabhas, developmental authorities, and DGHS, Bangladesh Medical Association, and NGOs are responsible authorities. In Bhutan, National Environment Commission is responsible to monitor compliance performance. And in case of Indonesia, agencies dealing with hazardous waste and other medical waste management are Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, and local authorities. In case of the Nepal, the various authorities responsible for enforcement of the waste management rules, healthcare waste management are Ministry of Health, Ministry of Population and Environment, Ministry of Labour, Local Department, Ministry of Kathmandu, Municipality of Kathmandu, Nepal, National, the NHR, SRC, and RONST, and NGOs are there. Sri Lanka, the authorities are Central Environmental Authority, Ministry of Health, where in case of Thailand, Department of Environment Quality, the promotion is the responsible authority for enforcement of the rules, apart from Pollution Control Committee and local administrative authorities. These are the authorities responsible for management of healthcare waste management in SEAR countries, including in India and other countries like Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Indonesia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. And when it comes to the bonding and quality assessment, healthcare facilities are to take care of. There should be state level advisory committee, and especially in case of I'm talking about in India, and there is a center district level monitor committee is there. Apart from the authorities at central level, Ministry of Environment Forest, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and CPCB, and other state at the state level, we have got state boards and political committees. They are responsible for enforcement of the authority of the healthcare waste management in the country, Delhi. Therefore, in India, if you look at the waste management rules, we do not have the only the country like India, we have got specific waste management rules, and when compared to other countries, South Asian countries, regional countries, they don't have specific waste management rules in the country like India. They got only some sort of policies and the guidelines, except in case of the Bangladesh. Bangladesh have followed our 1988 rules, and they have come out with the rules which are still followed, whereas we have gone for advancement in waste management, and that is how the waste management in the country is followed. And this is about the today's topic on what are the various rules and regulations followed in SEAR countries for healthcare waste management. And what I want to have is I will try to have a 5 minutes break, and I will come back after 5 minutes. Then we'll have other the policies. Then we'll try to have a look at the questionnaire, and we'll try to, as much possible, we'll have one more 45 minutes, let us say 40 minutes. Then we'll have a look at the questionnaires and covering all aspects so that you'll be able to do well in your exam. That's going to be conducted somewhere in July or August. And we'll have a break of 5 minutes. I request you to come back by 4:50, please. Now 4:42, we'll have a break for 8 minutes, and we'll come back at 4:50, please. If you all agree, please. Is it okay for you to have break of 5 minutes and the 8 minutes? We'll try to come back by 4:50. Is it okay? Yeah, can you have break up to 4:50, please? We'll come back at 4:50, please, if you all agree. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll come back at 4:50, please. Okay then. Yeah, coming to the last topic, am I audible to you? Can you see my slide, please? Can you see my slide?
No, sir.
No?
No, I can't.
Can you see my slide, please, now? Can you see latest slide, please? My slide, please. Yeah, please kindly respond. Can you see my slide or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before coming to the last topic of the today program, and today this is the last topic we are going to have a look at. I'm not going to go into deep. Please kindly have a look at the literature given in the IGNOU course materials, and I will say what is what. Simple way I will say. And as you all know, because of the human activities, there is a climate change, and there is a biodiversity loss, deforestation, marine degradation, expanding stand, and the trade and consumption is happening all over the global level. In the process of human activities, there are so many activities are going to happen. These like including climate change, biodiversity loss, deforestation, marine degradation, etc. And as you know, there are five the layers of atmospheric layers. What we call it as the troposphere, stratosphere, the mesosphere, thermosphere. Wherein in troposphere the temperature as you go higher and higher, the temperature goes down. And when you travel in the stratosphere, the temperature further rises, of course, but not more than 0 degrees centigrade. It will be less than 0 degrees centigrade. And if you go further higher and higher, temperature is going to be the minus level temperature. It may go up to minus 100 degrees centigrade. And if you go further higher above the mesosphere in the zone of thermosphere, by the terminology itself, it says that the thermosphere means where there is a temperature will be higher. Therefore, when you go higher and higher above thermosphere in the layers of thermosphere, the temperature will rise as you go higher and higher. Therefore, the maximum temperature may be more than 60 also in thermosphere, whereas the mesosphere, the temperature will go down as you go higher and higher. Whereas in stratosphere, the temperature will go slightly higher and higher as you go higher and higher, but not more than 0 degrees centigrade. Whereas in troposphere, the temperature will be reduced to minus 40 as you go higher and higher. This is the temperature thermal variation above the surface of the ground. You also know that there are four type of the layers of atmosphere layers. The one is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. And the troposphere is in between 0 to 10 kilometers above the ground surface, above the ground level, whereas in stratosphere will be in between 10 to 30 kilometers, whereas the mesosphere will be in between 30 to 50 kilometers, and thermosphere will be in the order of the 50 to 400 kilometers, and more than 500 kilometers, that is exosphere. Therefore, these are the various atmosphere layers, and where the temperature you have seen in the earlier slide, the varies from as you go higher and higher, depending upon the type of layer of the atmosphere. And generally, these you all may be knowing. And I just want to say these are the international policies, like what do you call it as Montreal Protocol, Basel Convention, and the Stockholm Convention, and the Minamata Conventions. Or other conventions are there. Still, we are going to have a look at only on these four conventions, international policies. As you all know, that above the atmosphere there are 5 layers. This is what we are saying, like troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. And especially stratosphere is the very useful layer where we will have the molecule called ozone. It above the ground surface between 10 to 50 meters, 30 to 50 meters. we'll have this layer. This helps as a protection for filtration of ultraviolet rays, and harmless sun rays will be passed through this layer, then only that will be coming onto the earth. Therefore, it is safe for us to live on this earth. Whereas in the stratosphere, there is a ozone layer which is actually helping us to filter the sun rays which are not harmful to us, and all harmful ultraviolet radiations are going to be filtered, and this stratosphere or ozone layer is going to help us not to send any ultraviolet radiation which are causing any harmful effects for the human being which are or any life that is living on the earth's surface. For ozone is nothing but, you remember please what the chemical composition of ozone is nothing but, we call it as ozone O3. So for oxygen under favorable conditions is going to be dissociated, is going to be O2 oxygen is going to be dissociated into, split into two the oxygen atoms. Under favorable conditions, this oxygen atom is going to mix with the oxygen once again to form the O3. It is called ozone O3. Therefore, remember this, the chemical formula for ozone is O3. You always remember, I have to remember this. And this is helpful for us. Without this ozone layer, the living on the Earth's surface is not possible. Therefore, it acts as the protected layer, and only harmless ultraviolet, the harmless sun rays will be pass through this layer that will come onto the Earth. Therefore, it is going to be helpful for the humankind or animal life or the environment, and it makes favorable for living on this Earth. Whereas because of the human activities, because we are using various chemicals like the human-made chemicals, what we call it as ozone-depleting substances. We call it as chlorofluorocarbons and halogens, which includes chlorine and bromine. Because of use of the chlorofluorocarbons and halogens, they are going to damage the ozone which is present in the stratosphere above the atmospheric layer. Now, this presence of these chlorofluorocarbons or chlorine halogens, especially the chlorine present in the atmosphere, emitting because of human activities, discharge of chlorine content into the atmosphere, which reaches up to the stratosphere, and it may cause damage to the ozone under favorable conditions. And one chlorine, the molecule can destroy 1 lakh molecules of ozone. You can imagine the chlorine molecule can destroy 1,000 molecules of ozone. Therefore, there is a possibility of damage because of emissions of chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, and which are nothing but the refrigerants we are using as equivalents, and we are using different sources for human activities. And you can just to have a look at it. The cause of ozone depleted layer is use of chlorofluorocarbons. That you remember this word, use of chlorofluorocarbons, CHC, we call it as CFCs. And unregulated rocket launches also is causing some sort of the depletion of ozone layer. Apart from these nitrogenous compounds, means use of the transportation, they are going to cause oxides of nitrogen, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and nitrogen trioxide. They are also is a part of the ozone depleting substances. And therefore, apart from human activities, there are the other activities like natural causes, including volcanic eruptions also causes the emissions of chlorine into the atmosphere, and this will help us in depletion of ozone layer. 5 minutes. Yeah, sorry, there is some query from my colleagues. I have to attend to it. I can't avoid it. And even volcanic eruptions also causes emissions of chlorine into the atmosphere, because when there is a volcanic eruptions are there, chlorine is going to be emitted into the atmosphere that reaches up to the stratosphere, and that causes damage to the stratosphere definitely. Therefore, human activities, use of chlorofluorocarbons, the transportation sector, and unregulated use of the rockets launched into the atmosphere, they all causes emissions of chlorofluorocarbons, chlorines, including the halogens, halogens the chlorine and bromine, they're going to cause, apart from nitrogenous compounds, they're going to damage to the ozone available in the stratosphere. Therefore, the harmful ultraviolet radiations are going to come onto the Earth's surface. Therefore, it causes effect. What are the ozone depleting substances? You have to remember these things, please. Therefore, have a look at it. These are the chlorofluorocarbons. We use it as the refrigerators, coolants in air conditioning, and the refrigerators also in solvents, dye cleaning agents, etc. Whereas halogens are used in sources, fire extinguishers, and whereas carbon tetrachloride, the main source is fire extinguishers and solvents. Whereas methane chloroform is one of the ozone depleting substance, and adhesives and aerosols are the main source of this chlorofluorocarbons, ozone depleting substance, and hydrofluorocarbons are the ozone depleting substances, and the fire main source is fire extinguishers and air conditioners and solvents. Therefore, these are the ozone depleting substances you have to remember, and these are the sources of ozone depleting substances. The effects will be on human health, especially they may cause the ozone depletion causes the ozone depleting substance causes there's a depletion of ozone layer, stratosphere. Because of the depletion of ozone layer, ultraviolet radiation will be coming onto the Earth. Because of that effect, there will be skin diseases, cancer, sunburns, contract, quick aging, and weak immune system. The possible effect on the human health and animals is concerned. Direct exposure to ultraviolet radiation leads to skin and eye cancer in animals, and the effect on the environment will be all the strong ultraviolet rays may lead to minimal growth, flowering, and photosynthesis in plants. And in case of marine life, the planktons are generally greatly affected by the exposure to harmful ultraviolet rays. These are higher in the aquatic food chain. If the planktons are destroyed, the organisms present in the food chain are also affected. Therefore, these are the possible effect of the ozone depletion in the stratosphere. That's why there is an international policy, what you call it as a Montreal Protocol. This is what we want to say. This is the Earth's surface, because the human activities, the fluorocarbons are emitted to the stratosphere. The stratosphere, which is acting as the layer for production of this control of ultraviolet rays directly into the atmosphere, because of emissions of these fluorocarbons and other halogens into the stratosphere, they are going to remove, making the low concentration of ozone. Therefore, the stratosphere is becoming weak and weak. Thereby, the ultraviolet rays are coming onto the surface, thereby causing effect on the environment as well as the human beings. In order to this protocol is main objective is for protection of the ozone layer. It is an international treaty signed in the year 1987. You have to remember this year, please. Can you remember these years and note down? You can expect one question definitely. Montreal Protocol, what is the objective is for protection of ozone layer, and it came into force signed on in the year 1987, and it is the Montreal Protocol regulating the production and use of ozone depleting substances, and main objective is to phase out production of ozone depleting and production and use of ozone depleting substances and use of alternate the ozone depleting substances. I'll call you. Then they coming to the Basel Convention. The convention is main convention. Basel Convention is to regulate interstate transboundary movement of hazardous waste. Therefore, from one country to other country, it controls transboundary movement of the hazardous waste between nations. Therefore, main objectives of this country, the Basel Convention, is to reduce and control transboundary movement of hazardous waste between nations, and also to prevent transfer of waste from developed to less developed countries. But this Basel Convention will allows recycling activities for any waste which is there for recycling purposes can be allowed from one country to other by mutual permissions, whereas the waste is not permitted in the Basel Convention for disposal of waste. Of course, this convention opened for signature on 22nd March 1989, and it came into force on 5th May 1992. And about 185 countries have participated in the convention, are signatory, and they have signed. Of course, but Haiti and USA, those signed, but they are not ratified. They are not implementing the Basel Convention. India has signatory to this convention. And the third convention is the Stockholm Convention on persistent organic pollutants. Anybody can say what is the persistent organic pollutants, please? Persistent organic pollutant. Anybody can say, please? Persistent organic pollutants is nothing but the any pollutant that will be there all over the globe, and that will be there for longer duration. It may not necessarily that waste is emissions are there only from that country. Any waste any emissions caused by any industry, by any other country, that pollutants may transfer or transport for longer distances, and that may affect on other countries which are far away also, and that will be there in the environment for longer time. Therefore, persistent means any pollutants, organic pollutant which is there in the environment, which is highly toxic in nature, and that will be remain in the environment for longer time. Therefore, we call it as persistent organic pollutants. Therefore, emissions may not be one country, emissions caused by one country, but the effect may be there in other countries somewhere else, which is far away from that particular emitted country. Therefore, global treaty to prevent human health, one of the convention, especially one example is mercury. Mercury can be called as one of the persistent organic pollutant and other pesticides also. Chlorine compounds. The global treaty to prevent human health, protect human health and environment from the chemicals that remain intact in the environment for longer time. We call it as persistent organic pollutants. Kindly remember this definition. You can expect one of the question. And it is adopted by the parties on 22nd May 2021 in Stockholm, Sweden. It came into force with effect from 17 May 2004. And 181 countries have signed and ratified this convention. And India signed this convention in May 2002, ratified in 2006, and we already have prepared a nation implementation plan under implementation, which is presently under implementation. And Biometric Waste Rule 2016 prohibits incineration of polyvinyl chloride, and also introduces emission norms for dioxin furans for biometric waste. Dioxin furans is one of the examples for persistent organic pollutants, apart from the other chemicals like mercury emission. Therefore, and this is the convention about this convention is the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants. And the last one is on the Minamata Convention. And this convention is relating to the mercury poisoning at Minamata in 1956. That's why this convention is happened in Minamata, where this mercury poisoning happened at Minamata in 1956. Therefore, this convention named as Minamata Convention, and this is the globally negotiated international treaty that addresses global mercury pollution and its serious health damage. International treaty and adopted and opened for signature on 10th October 2023, 13, and entered into force on 16th August 2017. Therefore, Minamata Convention refers to mercury pollution, the premise of mercury pollution, mercury poisoning and all, whereas the Basel Convention is transporting movement of hazardous waste, and whereas the what I call the first convention we talked is on depletion of ozone layers. The Basel, what I call it as Montreal Protocol. It is to protect to regulate the ozone, use of ozone depleting substances, and to protect the ozone layer. The Basel Convention is meant for the control of transboundary movement of hazardous waste from one country to others. And the third one convention is on Stockholm Convention, that is on the persistent organic pollutants, whereas the last one what you are going to see is on the Minamata Convention that relates to mercury poisoning at Minamata, and this convention is a globally negotiated international treaty that addresses global mercury pollution and its reforms health damage. And this came into most of the countries have adopted and adopted for signatures on 10th October 2013 and entered into force on 16th August 2017. About 144 countries signed and ratified by more than 88 countries. India signed this convention, Minamata Convention, on 30th September 2014, ratified in 2018. And most of the activities have taken up, already started implementing these policies relating to the Minamata Convention for mercury poisoning control, and especially we have stipulated various norms in case of healthcare sector for minimizing the mercury pollution. The convention calls for phase out of mercury and a ban on mercury mines and phase out existing ones and phase out mercury use in number of processes. That's why, as a part of the Minamata Convention, signatory to the Minamata Convention, we stopped using the mercury-based thermometers as were the BP operators in in case of the what you call in healthcare sectors. And also, we are taking measures for control of measures to reduce release of mercury emission to the environment, like by adopting the mercury, the limits that we have prescribed already. I told you yesterday when I talked about the concentrations with regard to the dioxin, furans, particulates, mercury limits 0.05 milligram per microgram per non-meter cube, and stay safe, interim storage and safe disposal at the sites contaminated with mercury and disposal of such mercury-bearing waste in environment sound manner. In the various conventions, this is what international conventions talks about policies are there. Environmental laws in India under the Environment Protection Act. We have got hazardous waste management and handling rules are there for management of mercury, the various the waste management in the country. There is a separate rules called biometric waste management rules, and we have got separate rules called solid waste management rules. And we got e-waste management rules apart from the plastic waste management rules, lead as batteries. And there is a conventions on which for which India is also signatory. There is a Basel Convention on transboundary movement of hazardous waste, which regulates an interstate movement of transportation of waste from one country to other. As per the Basel Convention, waste is allowed for recycling but not for disposal. Only waste is allowed for recycling activities, but not for recycling and reuse, but not for any disposal. Ultimate disposal from one country to other is not allowed. And Stockholm Convention is the convention to take care of the persistent organic pollutants, and the Minamata Convention is there in order to minimize mercury pollution. And there is a one more convention. What you have taught is about what you have learned is about the one is on the Montreal Protocol, which is meant to control the what you call it as boson depleting use of boson depleting substance. This is about international policies. I am not going to cover up in detail, and I think so you cannot expect much questions also. But anyhow, as a part of the covering these aspects, I have covered most of the aspects. If you have any questions, you can discuss with me. Otherwise, we'll try to have look at the questionnaires after 2 minutes. After break of 5 minutes, please. If you have any questions? Sir, any
No,
questions?
sir.
You are not have any questions. We'll break for the 5 minutes, then we'll have a look at the questionnaires, please. Okay? Can you have a break for 5 minutes if you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please. We'll meet after, I think now 5:13, we'll meet at 5:18, please. Okay? Okay then. Okay. Yeah, welcome back to the questionnaire section. Can you see the slide, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
please kindly don't copy. I got the answers are there, but don't try to the say the given answer directly, but try to please kindly read and answer your questions. Whatever is best, you can do it. What are the main objectives of Hospital Inspection Control Committee? Developing and implementing infection control program in the hospital. That is the. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. Then, can you please tell me who is the chairman of the Hospital Infection Control Committee? Ward boy, sanitary worker, senior administrator, or director, or doctor?
Senior administrator.
Senior administrator. Then, Hospital Infection Committee team constitutes a healthcare facility to coordinate and implement all infection committee activities on your day-to-day comprises mainly what? Member. Therefore, the member, scientific worker, ward boy, or nurse. Therefore, infection control officer is the responsible authority who should be able to take care of this aspect, infection control activities on a day-to-day basis in the hospitals. As per Bombay Quest rules, which hospital is required to constitute a Bombay Quest management committee?
So we can't see the
Hospital more
slides.
than 30.
Yes, sir.
Slides we can't see.
What happened? Others can see, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How come, sir? There is some maybe you may be having weak signals.
No,
Can you see now?
suddenly. Yeah, now I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, which hospital is required to constitute Bombay Waste Management Committee as per Bombay Waste Rules 2016?
More than 30 beds.
30 and more bed hospitals, they have to constitute a Bombay Waste Committee. I am deleting all my answers. Otherwise, you will copy and tell me, may tell also. Can you please tell me? Mainly, in infection
Influenza
may occur likely due to droplet transmission. What type of infection it may
influenza
occur?
SARS.
Influenza and SARS.
Very good. Then name a vector transmission disease to the general public. What type of vector transmission disease?
Sir, once again it lost. Thanks.
Sir, there may be weak signals in your area. That may be the reason.
No, I can see it. I can see you and other people, but
Try to
can't see the slide.
sir. Okay.
Sir, please try to rejoin. Then it will be fine. It's
Yeah,
happened
I'm
with
reading.
me.
Name a vector transmission disease to the general public. Is it answer is fever, dengue and malaria, headache, pain in legs? Which is the vector transmission disease?
Dengue and malaria.
Dengue and malaria. Very good. Name in which form the occupier or operator conference is required to submit annual report information under Bombay Quest rules to the SPCB by 30th June of year. In which form they are submit annual?
Form number 4.
Form 4.
Answer is?
Form 4.
Answer is B. Okay. Then any infection
Answer
occurring
B.
after 48 hours is considered as what? Any infection occurring after 48 hours is considered as what?
Hospital acquired infection. I mean healthcare associated infection.
Okay, please be honest. I'm trying to delete my answers, correct answers actually.
Sir, this answer we already know.
Okay. Then when hands are not visibly soiled and healthcare to patients is necessary, then which is the preferred method of hand hygiene? Soap, dish water, alcohol gel, or phenol?
Sir, it's hand rub alcohol gel.
Alcohol gel. Okay. Okay. Anyhow, I will keep that answers there. Okay, no problem. Which is the preferred method of surgical hand disinfection?
Antibacterial soap.
Antibacterial and alcohol solution, sir.
Okay, then what is the expected efficacy when chemical disinfection is using 1 to 2% is adopted for treatment of Bombay Quest? Chemical disinfection efficacy. What is the chemical disinfection efficacy?
What is
log 4? Log 4 or log 6 or 5 log or 2 log?
It's log 4.
In case of chemical disinfection, it is log 4.
Log
whereas
4.
in case of The sterilization, it is log
Log
6. Okay, please remember. Which is the most safe and economically way of treatment residual biometric waste generated from the hospital? Which is the most economical way of treatment of hospital? Within the hospital premises, where the waste is generated, or through compost, which is the cheapest method.
common biochemical biomedical
Very
waste.
common.
Therefore,
Sealed.
cheapest
Sealed.
method is common biometric waste treatment facility. The cheapest method of disposal of waste. Otherwise, the cost of treatment within the hospital becomes costly. Up to what period records pertaining to operation of incinerator, everything has to be maintained by the compost operator. Up to what year? How many years?
5 years.
5 years. Or how many months?
Sir, 60 months.
60.
Good. As per EA notification 2006, common biometric waste treatment is required to obtain environmental clearance under what category? Whether they are to obtain from ministry or SEAR, state level impact assessment or ministry. I told you EC is required to be obtained. In case of A category, they are to obtain Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. In case of B category of waste, they are to obtain from State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority. Therefore, this common biometric waste treatment facility will fall under 7DA category, B category. Therefore, under 7DA, they are to obtain
Okay.
EC from say State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority. What is the minimum land area required for development of composting? What is the area required for development of composting? Minimum area. 0.5 acres is the answer. 0.5 acres is the acres. Which is the preferred best burning technology from the following options for treatment? Which is the best burning technology? Open burning, incineration, plasma pyrolisis, or autoclave? No. Under incineration, plasma pyrolisis is best technology because
Okay.
the technology where you can ensure the gases can be, the waste can be converted into harmless compound under controlled and less oxygen supply. What is the emission standard for dicing furans in case of biometric waste incinerators stipulated the rules? Limit क्या है? What is the limit in case of for dicing furans? Answer is 1 nanogram toxic equivalent nanometer cube. What is the emission standard limit prescribed for mercury? Can you please answer? I told you 0.05 is the limit. So what is the prescribed temperature limits for primary and secondary chamber of incineration? What should be the minimum temperature in case of primary chamber? In case of incinerator? 800, whereas in case of secondary chamber, the temperature should be ranging from 1050 plus or minus 50. Okay, then what is the prescribed minimum residence time for secondary chamber? What should be the residence time in case of the incineration secondary chamber? Should be minimum 2 seconds should be there in case of secondary chamber. What is the prescribed limit? Minimum stack height. Yesterday I was telling you. What should be the minimum stack height of incinerator?
Minimum stack height.
30 meters above ground level. Biometric waste to be incinerated shall not be chemically treated with whatever chemical which is not used for treatment. In case if you want to incinerate, chlorinated disinfectant. You cannot use chlorinated disinfectant for treatment of that waste cannot be incinerated. Yesterday I told you in my last class. What type of incinerator is preferred among the following incinerators? Drum type, single chamber, double chamber. Which one?
Double
chamber. Double chamber with APCD is the correct answer. It is not there, but double chamber with the APCD is the preferred option. Okay? With the APCD is the preferred option. Then what is the commercial efficiency in case of incinerator should be achieved? Yesterday I was telling you based on
at least
99%. When did the international treaty, that is Stockholm Convention, came into force? Stockholm
17
Convention.
May
17 May 2004.
2004. Okay.
What is the type of energy used in case of autoclave? What type of energy used in autoclave?
Steam.
Steam is the heating mode. Very good. What type of form of mercury is more toxic in nature? Which form of mercury is more the toxic in nature?
Methyl mercury.
Methyl mercury is highly toxic in nature. Mercury is the only metal in liquid form, isn't it? In case if there is a mercury, the mercury spill is there, what condition you have to take? You have to switch on AC, or you have to switch off AC in heat mode, or you have to switch on AC to maintain cool, or you have to switch off AC.
Switch off AC.
In heating mode. Switch off AC in heating mode. Suppose if AC is there in heating mode, in order to avoid vaporization of mercury, You have to switch off AC in heating mode is the correct answer. What is the desired temperature and duration to be maintained to achieve necessary efficacy of treatment of monocultures in case of dry heat sterilization? What temperature you have to maintain in case of dry heat sterilization? I told you yesterday.
180.
180 to 185 degrees. And what is the duration? Not less than 1 hour.
1 hour.
What is the device used for the conversion of electrical energy into microwave?
Correction.
Magnetron or crystal is used for conversion of electrical energy into microwave. Okay. And what type of waste cannot be treated by using microwave? Can you please tell me?
Radiological and
Radioactive
mercury
waste and mercury waste cannot be, hazardous waste cannot be treated by using the microwave, which is a non-bend technology. What type of biomedical waste or source is treated using the equipment called demolizer? I am sorry, this I not covered, but answer is small amount of waste shops and waste can be, this I have not covered, I am sorry then. Then under what circumstances biomedical waste is allowed to be disposed of in deburial? Where deburial is allowed?
Sir, where common facility is not
Is not
available.
available. And in rural areas. What is the other option? Rural areas is allowed.
number of
And the thickness of, I have not covered, SDB liner thickness should be there to avoid groundwater contamination in landfills, at least 1.5 mm of SDB. These you remember please. As a liner, bottom should be there in case of circular landfill, and that liner thickness should be minimum of 1.5 mm. What type of biomedical is disposed of by encapsulation?
Sharp, sir.
Waste. Okay. International entity, Minamata Convention deals with what?
Mercury.
Mercury emissions. Very good. International Montreal Protocol regulations regulates what type of things? Montreal Protocol regulates production and use of ozone depleting substances. Therefore, in which year United Conference on Human Environment organized at Stockholm? The year 1972. Stockholm Convention held in the year 1972. Which is the primary name of the presently called Minnesota forest? What is the earlier name of Minnesota forest? Sorry, this I not told you. This might have been covered in another chapter. Somebody might have told you. Nation Council for Environment, Council and Planning. Therefore, the earlier name of Minnesota forest and climate change earlier name in the year which was found in 1970 is National Council for Environment, Council and Planning. In which year Bhopal gas tragedy occurred?
84.
84. India, what is the estimated water requirement in hospital? Yesterday I told you nation building code. In case of firefighting and hospital staff housing, everything has to be covered. It will cover at least 342 liters per day. Then when did Basel Convention for control of transport movement of waste and its dumping came into force?
92.
1992, 5th May 1992. What are the main objectives of Stockholm Convention?
Organic pollutants.
Persistent organic pollutants, okay, to control persistent organic pollutants. What type of toxic and carcinogenic gases are emitted when PVC is burnt? When PVC is burnt, what type of the gas, toxic gases will be emitted in the incinerations? Yesterday I told you to remember. PCBs.
Polychlorinated
dioxins and furans. Polychlorinated dibenzofurans, PCDs and PCDEFS. Polychlorinated dibenzofurans and polychlorinated dioxins. Generally, what percent of total water consumed is generated as wastewater?
80 to 85.
If we use 100 liters, about 80 to 85 liters of wastewater is generated. Therefore, 80 to 85% is wastewater is generated as wastewater. If I consume 100% is 100 liters, then about 80 to 85 liters will be generated as wastewater. Therefore, percentage will be in the form of 80 to 85. Means the disinfectant generally absorbed in high content in the wastewater generated from
Glutaraldehyde.
Okay, glutaraldehyde. Discharge of untreated wastewater into water body is causing fish kill, which is mainly due to what? Low BOD, turbidity, depletion of oxygen. Depletion of oxygen is the correct answer. What is the limit prescribed for bioassay under biomedical waste rules? Liquid waste. I told you how much. What is the bioassay? It comply with what standard? 90% of the survival of fish after 90 years of exposures in 100% effluent. Okay. Answer is what?
90% of survival of fish after 90 hours.
The answer is both answers are correct. Seems to be. A and D are answers.
Three.
Both are same. Therefore, in this
Same.
case, it is mentioned as A and D. Okay. When you are, you have to be very careful. A and
Each.
you have to remember these sort of things. They may test indirectly also sometimes. Therefore, you have to be careful when you are answering also. If correct answers are there, you have to indicate both. Chemical liquid waste is required to be neutralized. What type of neutralization has to be taken in order to mention what parameter? Neutralization refers to what parameter generally?
The pH only.
pH has to be adjusted. Then in case if acid, then you have to use alkali solution for neutralization. If wastewater is alkaline nature, then you have to use acid for neutralization of the wastewater. Then what is the preferred treatment of liquid waste generated from non-bedded hospitals? Yesterday I told you, non-bedded hospitals, I showed you an example. Sodium hypochlorite solution of 1 to 2% can be used for disinfection in case of non-bedded hospitals only. In case of bedded hospitals, you have to have conventional wastewater treatment systems. Okay, is it okay?
Yeah.
Covered, I think so. That one some points, and I hope so. You have understood some question. Let us see the today's topic. Whatever I could see. Yeah, and let me see. Can you see my slide, please?
Yes, sir.
See, administrative and legal aspects of waste management I have not taught you. Therefore, I am not going to cover up these aspects. Now, some questions will ask you. Suppose if there is a hospital, up to what distance, if there is a COM50, then you have to dispose of the waste.
75 kilometers.
75 kilometers is the answer. Okay. Where you have to go for segregation of waste in a hospital?
Then and there itself.
At the source itself. Name the equipment used for on-site or intramural transportation of waste.
Sir, close labeled.
Closed and labeled trolley.
Fantastic. What is the step that initially need to be taken in order to place healthcare waste management system in your hospital? Reuse, reduce, recycle, or waste audit? Waste audit. You mean how many stages the waste audit proposes in your hospital is carried out? Answer is B, 3 years. I am sorry, this I am not covered. Sorry, this I am not covered.
This we are already doing, sir.
This all related to your field only, yeah. I think so, we have covered already, I think so. At what frequency Bangladesh Waste Management Committee in your hospital is required to be meet? At least once in
a month.
Once in a month.
Sorry, once in 6 months. Once in 6 months, they have to meet.
Once in 6
that submit the minutes.
Okay.
Who is the chairman of the Bangladesh Waste Management Committee in the hospital?
Sir, the director.
Director or medical superintendent. How many types of color-coded biometric waste is there as per biometric waste rules?
4, sir.
4.
Okay. Now, what type of tracking system has to be adopted for tracking of the biometric waste transportation, etc.? What type of system is there as per rules?
There is a barcoding.
Barcoding system. Therefore, good. In the event of illegal dumping of barcode and color-coded bags containing biometric waste, helps in identification of whom. Suppose the barcode is there on a bag.
Where it is generated.
Source of generation of biometric waste that you can identify.
Sure.
What type of color-coded cutlery is used for the purpose of waste shops?
It's a puncture-proof container.
Puncture-proof container in white.
And white transfer container is the correct answer. At what frequency you have to conduct health checkups for the healthcare workers as per rules? At least at the time of induction and at least once in a year. And what are the monitoring mechanisms which can be established for ensuring suitable and safe management of healthcare waste in your hospital?
Where is it?
What is the mechanism you have to adopt for ensuring suitable and safe management of healthcare waste? Day-to-day and periodic monitoring is the search thing. Who is the responsible authority in state for enforcement of the rules? Prescribed authority in the state. Who is the prescribed authority in the state? We call it as State Pollution Control Board. In case of Union Territory, what do you call them? In case of Union Territory, we call it as Pollution Control Committee. Up to what years you have to maintain the records? Relevant to
5.
Bamber case? 5 years. I think we already seen these things, and I think so. Repeating, I think they're all repeating. Therefore, not required to. I think they're all repeating. I think it's already we have seen in first day itself. Okay, what is the time limit prescribed under the rules for grant of authorization by the State Personnel Board? By how many days they have to grant authorization when you submit application form 2? By how many days? By how many days they grant authorization
Within
within
1 month.
Within
90
9.
days? 90 days. If they don't grant authorization within 90 days, we call it as what type of authorization it is? Deemed authorization. Okay?
Team does.
Deemed authorization. You remember these things. I think these are the questions already we have covered. I think so. There is no need to repeat once again. And I think so. Also, I could able to the make you to understand as much as possible. And I also you have understood the topics whatever I covered. If you have any still questions, you can talk to me, please.
It was a very interesting session, sir.
Thank you.
Where it has really enriched our knowledge.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you very much. Therefore, if you don't have any questions or questions are there, we will try to close this section at this stage, please. Any questions or else? I think so.
No,
if you have noted down the email ID, if you have any questions, you can post questions into my email ID. I will try to respond to you definitely. Till your
Right,
exam
sir.
over, please. Thank you all once again for your kind cooperation and
Thank you,
for
sir.
attending these my classes. If you have any doubt, you are most welcome. At any time, you can ask me on my mobile number and email also. I will respond to your queries, please. Thank you all.
You
once
are in
again.
Bangalore, sir?
Yeah, I'm in Bangalore.
I'm coming on 29th this month.
Okay. Please, if
I'll
there's
be
a time,
there.
please kindly will try to meet. I will be
29th, 30th, 31st.
Yeah, I am in station till 30th. 31st, I will not be there. 29th, 30th, I will be in station definitely. We can meet, please, if required. Okay.
Yeah. Can you share your number, sir?
Yeah, 98.
Just a minute. 98
98682
682
789
789
03.
02.
03. 98682
I'm repeating it, sir.
Yeah,
98682 789 02 03.
03. Yeah, 1 minute, please. I will upload my slide once again so that you can note down this number if you want. Yeah, this is my mobile number 9868278903 and my email ID is jcb.cpcb@nic.in. My office is very close to Rajaji Nagar metro station.
Rajaji Nagar.
Rajaji Nagar metro station.
Yeah,
Very close to
I'm
the,
coming there only, sir.
Yes, then I'm very close to you. Then, if you are there, you can come down.
There is a Medinova, some company is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very close to Rajaji metro station only. It is about 1 kilometer away from Rajaji metro station. If you come there, please
Okay,
come
sir.
down. We'll meet definitely.
Yeah,
And this
definitely.
is my contact details. In case if any doubts is there, you can post questions. I will respond to your queries definitely. And once again,
Thank
thank
you,
you all once again for joining me and hearing me patiently. And really, I felt very happy. And during my last 5 days, we are associated. And I think so. Whatever I could able to present, I could present you. And I wish you all the best for your examination, please. Thank you all once
Thank you,
again.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.